How to get good at socializing as an introvert. Now, I'm sort of like in the middle. Like I'm sort of extroverted, but sort of introverted. Like this video is going to be specific to people like entrepreneurs or like aspiring salesmen who give themselves the label of introvert. Like you prefer to not talk, or how do you put this? You can picture the extrovert like he's life of the party, talks to almost anyone or everyone. And it seems like ourselves, we can't really muster up the courage to like initiate a conversation. So I'm gonna give some guidance to how I sort of improved the way I talk to others, or am more comfortable with talking to like strangers or whatnot. So I'm gonna give 3 tips. My first tip is actually getting a retail job. Like I know it's out there. Like this is actually a practical, actionable step. Like get a job where your job is involved talking to customers. Like my brother, for example, like he probably doesn't like talking to strangers. Like I was gonna say no one likes talking to strangers, but actually it's a learnt skill talking to people. And his job is like just cleaning golf carts at a golf course. Like you don't really have to talk to anyone, not really. You just have to be by yourself cleaning the carts. Whereas a retail job, like in Australia, I can give an example, like a really big retail store, like Maya, for example. More likely or not, your job is going to be putting out products, but also recommending and guiding people. Because ultimately sales, all it is, you just have to be asking the right questions and be good listeners. And I think as introverts, we're inherently good listeners. Or we talk less because we listen more. And in sales, that's absolutely fantastic. Because most of the time, customers just want to feel understood. And also, as they feel understood, you pose great questions and you guide them through with their decision making. Because I know December last year, I got a job at Golf World, like golf retail, and I've been working there, I think twice a week. Like it used to be like 5 days a week, but then now it's like twice a week. The first time talking to a customer saying, "How are you?" was uncomfortable. Like I was not used to, firstly, selling golf products. Like my father's a golf professional, but I'm no golfer. Like I understand the game, I understand the clubs, but I don't know the products inside and out. So that's sort of where I'm uncomfortable with. Secondly, it's just the thought of actually talking to someone in relation to a product I have no real understanding about, which is fine. That's gonna be like that at the start of your retail job. But once you keep on doing the repetitions of someone walks in the door, "Hey, how are you? Chasing after anything? You looking for anything today?" "No, oh, I'm actually looking for this." Then you start building up the repetition, start building up the evidence of going, "I'm actually very good at talking to people." The reason why we feel so insecure, or we just feel as though we're not good at talking to people, is because we don't have enough stacks of evidence to suggest that we are good at talking to people. You just haven't gone out of your comfort zone, or haven't done it enough yet to say, "I'm actually quite comfortable to say I'm comfortable with talking to people." So get a retail job. I recommend a store where it gets a lot of traffic, a lot of people, so you get to talk to a lot of people. Because once you start talking to a lot of people, you get to know most humans are genuinely nice to talk to. Like they're not, like sure you get some bad apples here or there, but like most of the time, that barrier to entry of you think people are not gonna be interactive, or they'll be cold to you, like that's not the case at all. And again, it's a matter of pushing your comfort zone and leaning into it. Now my second point, my second actionable step. Buy Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People. I know you've probably heard of this book. If you've watched other videos before about how to improve your social skills, you've probably heard of this book. And if you haven't bought this book, go buy it. It's like one of the fundamental books about understanding how to interact with humans. Because I can summarize the book in probably one sentence. In order to be a good conversationalist, you just have to be a good listener and be genuinely interested in the other person. Because naturally, if you're genuinely interested in listening, you'll be asking questions and adding to the conversation because you're listening. Like, that's all there is to the book. That's how you win friends, is being genuinely interested, because you're giving your value of your attention. Even now in the social media age, your attention is valuable. So to give it to another person is like a genuine compliment. It goes, you think what I'm saying is valuable because you're listening. I appreciate that. And even in the book, I can remember times where Dale Carnegie was mentioning, I think people were saying he was a good conversationalist, but he actually never spoke at all. Like, he actually spoke minimally. All he did was listen and ask good questions, because the other party will do most of the talking. Like, that's probably, again, my one sentence summary. It's just being genuinely interested and listen. And you'll be a good conversationalist, and then people will enjoy talking to you. And you might say, oh, what about talking points? Or, oh, what about starting a conversation from scratch? Like, that's probably like advanced stuff. Not advanced stuff. Like, don't get too meta about it. Like, don't get too subconscious about how to interact with people, but just have a genuine interest, listen, and pose some good questions. Like, do that enough times. Again, like my first point, with enough repetitions, it would be unreasonable for you to not be good at socializing and being a good conversationalist. Now, my third step, or my third point, which I haven't really explored myself, which I've put in like the back burner, is actually learn how to tell a good story. And I know for myself, my storytelling skills aren't they're not the best. Like, sure, if you gave me half an hour to just like write stories, sure, I could probably do it. Probably because I'm a bit logical, and stories are very emotional. It's about drawing the other person into your world and seeing the story through your eyes. But as humans, we tell information through stories. Like, it's simple as that. Like, it's more interesting. And then you can, if you go into like the actual literature about study of stories, like there's archetypes, there's setting, plot, conflict resolution, like all of that, like probably your high school English stuff. So I'm only going to guide, because I'm going along this journey as well. I've got now pat down being able to talk to like strangers, being comfortable with talking to strangers. I just need to improve telling a good story. Even telling your own story is a good one, because especially if you're in sales or an entrepreneur, if you're building like a personal brand, it's talking, you want to be able to say your story and in an engaging way. So I can only guide you. I can't really give you any advice. Probably just look into it a bit more. Whereas Dale Carnegie goes, just listen and ask good questions. When it's time for you to speak, being able to tell a good story is probably a good skill to have. Especially in like marketing and sales. Actually, not sales so much. Sales is more like decision making and guiding. But in marketing is about telling a good story and telling a brand's story. So I recommend those 3 points. Get a retail job with high traffic. You get to learn sales, also improve your social skills through repetitions. Buy Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People and read it. Like, I'll probably revisit it again. Like, I'll put it on my Kindle because it's such a good book. I'll probably have to read it a couple of times just to like drill down, because some of those principles are fantastic. And 3, look into telling good stories, or improve the skill of telling good stories. And I can't really give any tips for that as of yet, because I haven't learnt that much. But I just know, as humans, fundamentally, we learn information through stories. We tell engaging stories. And that's how it's passed down. Or that's how we connect. So if this video helps, thank you for watching.